you guys, it's Amber G. Lee, and today I want to talk about something that I usually see in my comments, and it's just like, why don't you support the sisterhood? Why have you not engaged in the sisterhood? Why have you not really been a fan of the sisterhood? At one point, I was just ignoring those questions, but then when I logged on Twitter, I literally seen somebody tweet, just because I follow you, that does not mean your NIGGA is off limits. I ain't sparing no HOE. And I was like, it's time for me to talk about why I'm not really a fan of the sisterhood, because I feel like it doesn't exist. It's Amber J. Lee. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And let's learn, pretty girls. And also, while you're here, just follow my Instagram, as I also post updates. Every woman comes to this realization sooner than later. I just came to the realization a little bit earlier than some. Let's talk about it. You don't know how many women out there, family members, are sleeping with their friend's husband, their friend's boyfriend. You don't know how many times I have seen that. You don't know how many times I have heard about that. You don't know how many times I have friends come to me and say, my best friend was sleeping with my man. Girl, I do not trust, I do not engage, and I am not a part of the sisterhood. Now, this is not for Black women. This is just for all women, period. I feel like every man is out for themselves. And before you say, why don't you speak on the manhood? Because I'm not a man. I'm a woman, so therefore I'm speaking on the womanhood, because that's the community I am in. So kill that question. I'm not talking about the women who did not know the man was taken, or the women who were tricked and the man said he was single or something like that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about women who willingly and knowingly sleep with their friends, partners, and just do other women dirt behind another man. And even the tweet that you saw earlier that I posted, some women just do not respect themselves and other women. They don't care about saying, you know what, I respect myself and I respect this other woman because I respect the sisterhood, so her man is off limits. Or even, I know this man is married, so I'm going to back up off this man because I respect myself and other women because I respect the sisterhood. Me personally, I feel like a lot of women can be bought at the right price. That's why I don't like to hang around certain type of women, because certain women can be bought. If a man approaches her with the right price, she'll snake out anybody. Working at a strip club can tell you that. So growing up, I used to have a strong faith in the sisterhood. I used to believe that, you know what, if I'm friends with somebody, I respect them. Or any man that is taken, any man that is in an open relationship, he is off limit because that is a taken man. So even if men used to try to come after me and I know they were taken, I would tell their wives, like, hey, your husband is coming after me. He's a wandering out. Like, I used to be that girl. Like, I'm going to tell, I'm just going to tell their partner if they're doing something behind their back. Because one time, I'll never forget, I was at a friend's house and I was sitting on the couch and she was in the kitchen cooking food. And while her back was turned, her husband winked at me. And at the time, I was like 21. I was like, okay. So I told her about it and she got mad at me. And I said, okay, it's no such thing as sisterhood. A lot of women can be bought. A lot of women will sneak you out for a man. A lot of women will take up for a man and not take up for you. Yeah, growing up, I used to have a strong faith in the sisterhood. One day, I started dating this guy and his father worked for NASCAR. I was like 21 at the time. So I was 21, 20, and I had a friend who I met around my way. And I will never forget that one day I was upstairs in the bathroom and I had left him and her downstairs. And I'll never forget, while I was in the bathroom, he texted me and was like, your friend is coming on to me. She's trying to have sex with me. And so I came downstairs and I was like, hey, what's going on? So the girl she was talking to, she was like, oh, hey, pretend like nothing is happening. I didn't want to believe it. I was in denial. So me, her, and him, we went to the bar. He texted me. He was like, I'm going to leave because I feel uncomfortable. So he ended up leaving and it was just me and her at the bar. Mind you, this is the girl that I was really close friends with. So I was in complete denial. So I'll never forget that night when I got in the house, it was like 1 a.m. He was like, are you up? I said, yeah. He said, I'm around the way. Want me to pull up? So, I go out there and me and him are sitting in the car listening to music. And so he was like, I want to show you something. Because he was such a sweet guy. He was like, I want to show you something. So he showed me the DMs. And it was a video of me on his lap in the first Instagram story, but in the next Instagram story, it was him by himself and she put heart eyes. And I was like, okay. So at that moment, I stopped talking to her, didn't address her or anything because I just didn't think it was worth it. I stopped talking to her and I'll never forget, she called me, she texted me. So she sent me like 10 to 20 texts and I did not respond to any of them over like days, not at one time, over days. And so she was like, did that boy tell you something? I didn't tell you anything about him, but you said that, so you're guilty. So I haven't spoken to her since then. Still haven't spoken to her since this. For some reason, she follows me on Instagram. I do not follow her back. I removed her as a follower twice. She still follows me, so if she sees this video, whatever, you know what you did. But yeah, even though it's been a few years later, I'm not interested in being friends with like that. My first indication that the sisterhood is just no such thing. We have so many stories in the media of that the sisterhood doesn't exist. NBA YoungBoy is married and he has 2 additional women pregnant at the same time. Those women can go on his page and see his current girlfriend, but yet they're still pregnant. Goes to show that women don't care. At the right price, they'll stake out any woman. They don't care. They'll say, oh, I don't owe her no loyalty. They don't care about their sisterhood. They don't care about the girl code of, oh, you know, he's a taken man, I'm not going to open my legs to him. They don't care about that. The whole world knew that Dwayne Wade was engaged to Gabrielle. The whole world knew. But yet, he still was sleeping with somebody else. Carmelo Anthony and Lala. Yes, some women were fooled and some women lied, but a lot of women aren't fooled. Dwayne Wade's side piece knew. Like, some women are okay with being side pieces and they don't care about respecting themselves or other people, or how other people will view them for being a side piece. Because some women wear that title like a badge of honor. They will sleep with your man, point blank, period. This is just common sense. This is why I don't see why some people are just so quick to jump to bat for women that they don't know or they know is in the wrong. Like, you're doing all of that, she's wronging somebody else. It's going to be a matter of time before she wrongs you. And it's just like, oh yeah, I knew he was married, but what happened to respecting yourself and respecting another woman? What happened to that? A lot of women don't do that. Because a lot of women don't respect women, let alone themselves. Basically, what I do now is I find a group of women that I trust, that I know cannot be bought, and I rock out with. But I don't support random women blindly like a lot of people do on the internet. That's just not me.